You're watching WHUC TV 7. Now, live from the news station with coverage you can count on, this is Hinds' very own WHUC News.
Good afternoon, and I'm Devin Anderson, and thank you for joining us on this coverage of the 2021 special election. The WHUC News 7 team is at voting sites all over Hinds County. But before we move to the first precinct, we need to address some of the concerns voters and even some of the sheriff candidates have about today's election. Earlier today, I spoke with Hinds County Circuit Clerk Zack Wallace, and he was kind enough to clear up some of those rumors.
There's a lot of rumors about voting machines, about other elected officials, but I'm here to tell you that we are prepared. It must go on. We will have enough ballots with the sheriff race, the constable race of District 5, and the county court judge race on it. So some of the concerns we had has been taken care of. Everything's in place, and we are ready. You have 13 candidates running for the Hinds County Sheriff position. And with so many candidates, some people just say that it's definitely going to be a runoff, because with the special election, the top candidate needs to get 50 plus 1. If no one does not receive 50 plus 1% of the vote, there will be a runoff. By law, the runoff is set for 20 days after the election, which will go to November the 23rd.
The winner of this election will serve the remainder of the term for former Hinds County Sheriff Lee Vance, who unfortunately passed away in August. Voters will also be voting for Hinds County District 5 Constable and Hinds County District 1 County Court Judge. We're going to start here at Utica, where reporter Ezekiel Harris and Evan Hughes are downtown. Ezekiel, tell me how the atmosphere is.
Well, Devin, the energy has been kind of iffy this morning. Not too many voters turned out to vote.
Voting began this morning at 7 a.m. and will end this evening at 7 p.m. I spoke with Cassandra Broome, and she tells me what motivated her to come out and vote.
Basically, the way the Republicans are suppressing our right to vote. They are literally just trying to rewrite the Constitution. That insurrection, January 6th, that's what got me out.
Melvin Smith gives encouraging words to non-voters.
Really want to make a change in things that go on in your community or wherever you live at, it's your right to vote. Because you never know what the change may bring. It may bring good, it may bring bad, but that's your opportunity to go out and vote.
Well, Devin, that's all I have for you. Ezekiel Harris reported for WHUC News 7. I'm going to toss it over to my fellow reporter, Evan Hughes. How's it going over there, Evan?
Well, Ezekiel, the crowd may not be big, but they are making sure that their voices are being heard.
I'm here at the Utica precinct for the elections where people are coming to vote this year. I talked to Kathleen McGriggs about the importance of the people that are voting.
We need this. We have so much crime in the city and the surrounding areas. We need someone to come out. We need the voters to come out and take the advantage of your rights, because we need this.
I talked to Houston Mathis about what he is looking forward to the new sheriff.
And this new sheriff, I'm looking for a man who will do the job. He'll follow the law that is written and not try to make his own law, because he doesn't have the right or the authority to make his own law. He followed as it's written, that was passed by the legislature, and that's it.
Well, Devin, hopefully more voters will be coming out here later on in the evening. Back to you, Devin.
Thank you for your coverage in Utica, Evan and Ezekiel. Also, in Utica, we have an election correspondent, WHUC News 7, Makala Brown, getting the voters' opinions of this year's election. Makala?
That's exactly right, Devin. I'm right here on the streets of Utica to see the voters' input on this election this year.
Candidates posted signs everywhere in the town of Utica prior to today, but it's ultimately the votes of the residents in the town of Utica will decide their final results. Hearing the voices of those residents is a key to the success of a small town. Here's what a resident had to say about the importance of voting.
Voting is very important, and I'm hoping that everybody will come and do cast their ballot and vote for the candidate of their choice. This candidate that is elected today will be very important in the future of our city, our county, and our state.
Mrs. Cyclone tells me what she is looking for in a new sheriff.
Well, personally, I would like to make sure that the new sheriff does not forget that Utica, even though we are a rural town, that Utica is still part of Hinds County.
Devin, that pretty much wraps it up for the woman on the street and the town of Utica. Back to you.
Thank you, Makala. Now, for those watching at home, I understand that not everyone understands the importance of sheriff and his or her duties. For starters, sheriff is the oldest law enforcement position in America, and it's the one position in law enforcement that you have to be elected for. Being a sheriff requires you to prevent crime and build community safety through education, investigation, and enforcement. Now we're going to transition to reporter Jacobus Roby, who is covering both precincts in Raymond. Jacobus, what are some things the voters are hoping the new sheriff will change or implement?
Well, Devin, I'm currently located on the Hinds Community College Raymond campus at Porter Hall, where the voting turnout is off to a sluggish start as predicted. Hinds County residents are coming out to have their voices heard and vote for a new sheriff. I spoke to Mr. Kerry Roby and Miss Vicki Taylor about what they are hoping the new sheriff will implement.
Cut down on crime and try to get everything going in the right direction.
Changes and improvement down to the jailhouse.
I also spoke to Mr. John White about what he is looking for in a sheriff.
I'm looking for somebody that can come and be honest and be concerned about the needs of the constituents.
I also made my way over to Raymond United Methodist Church, where residents were also voting. However, the turnout was still a little slow. As you can see behind me, there's a steady flow of cars as residents come in to cast their vote for the sheriff of their choice. Jacobus Roby reporting for WHUC News 7.
Thank you, Jacobus. Now, for those who are wondering, there are 13 candidates running for sheriff. Each candidate has their own approach in improving Hinds County. Interim Sheriff Marshall Kirschler is one candidate, and he's hoping to make his temporary position a more permanent one. This isn't his first rodeo. He has ran for Jackson Mayor, State Senator, and Public Service Commissioner. He was a successful councilman for several years and is a former police chief in Utica. Another popular candidate is Tyree Jones. He has served in law enforcement for 22 years, and for more than a decade, Jones has served as an investigator and supervised major crime divisions. There are more candidates to feature, but for now, we're going to head over to Tiara Jackson, who is located at a precinct in Terry. Tiara, how is the voter turnout in your hometown?
Hey, Devin. The voter turnout right outside Terry High School is going pretty slow right now, but it might pick back up in the afternoon.
In the heart of Terry, Mississippi, at Terry High School ROTC building, the sheriff election's voter turnout did not have a huge crowd as expected. Voter Roy L. Bennett states how he felt about the turnout.
It looks as though from the past, it looks as though it's kind of low, and that shouldn't be,
As it was sadly expected of the small voter turnout in Terry, Mississippi, Mr. Bennett encourages people to go out and vote.
You have the right to support who you want to support, but just come out and support that person, and, whoever wins, just hope they do a good job.
All right, Devin, I'm going to take it back over to you. That was the voter turnout for today here at Terry High School. Tiara Jackson, report for WHUC News 7.
Thank you, Tiara. Well, that is Raymond, Terry, and Utica covered. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue covering the 2021 special election.
When stories hit home, you can trust the WHUC News 7 team to give you the information you need.
Here's the photos, Thursday, August 19th.
If it's Hinds Community College news around the campuses.
And this is only the beginning. We have a full week of activity.
Weather.
And now in Crystal Springs, as you can see,
Sports.
Hinds is ready to get back to usual by starting the semester off with sports.
And more. We are WHUC News 7, Hinds' only college news station that cares.
Welcome back to this coverage of the 2021 special election. Some more individuals that are running for sheriff include Leon Seals. He played 8 years in the NFL and won 2 Super Bowl rings while being a sheriff deputy. He plans on being the first sheriff to have a mental health department in the Sheriff's Department. We now move on to Lenarius May, who is in Byram, Mississippi. Lenarius, how's it going down in your area?
Everything is going great, Devin. Currently, I'm right here at Byram City Hall, where these voters are ready to hit the polls. Well, these voters came out bright and early, ready to elect the next sheriff for Hinds County to make a difference in their community and make it crime-free.
Lenarius, I heard you received some input from voters about what they want the new sheriff to do about crimes in Hinds County.
That's right, Devin. I talked to Magee, and this is what he had to say.
More officers on the street is what we're looking for. The better and the more officers you have on the street patrolling these streets, the less crime there's going to be.
I also went to the harbor at Wendell, where I talked to Mr. Jermaine Magee on what primary political issues that he wants to be fixed.
Thought leadership. Again, going into the community, reaching out, seeing what the problems are, how they can combat the crime within the community.
People are still here to vote. You have until 7 p.m. tonight to cast your last vote. Lenarius May, reporter from WHUC News 7.
Thank you, Lenarius. Another candidate running today is Torrance Mayfield, who is currently an officer at JPD and served as police chief at Edwards. He plans on addressing the continued issues in Raymond Detention Center. Speaking of JPD officers, it's time to go to Tracy Gray in Jackson. Tracy, what's going on in the capital city?
Well, Devin, there are not many here, but voters are still to come to choose their next sheriff.
Folks came out today to vote for who they wanted to serve as their new sheriff for Hinds County. Student Jordasia Jones tells me what she would like to see in our new sheriff.
I would definitely like to see educational programs being implemented in the school systems because they're struggling very much so. And I also want to see economical revenues created because I don't feel like there's enough jobs here in Jackson.
Even though there were few, votes were needed to make our sheriff new. Back to you, Devin.
Thank you, Tracy. As a friendly reminder, if needed, a sheriff runoff will take place on November 23rd. Now we head to Harmony Porter in Clinton. Harmony, what are they looking for in a new sheriff?
Thank you, Devin. I am outside of Northside Baptist Church where voting here is a little more slow than usual, but it's running.
Not many people were out this morning, but I caught up with Adam Martino on what he is looking for in a new sheriff.
So really it's transparency, because Hinds County has some problems, especially the Jackson Police Department. So really just somebody who's transparent about the whole process.
I also got a chance to speak to Annie Gilmore to see her views as well.
Well, to stop the, I know they ain't gonna be able to stop crime, but just get it under control.
If you haven't already gotten your chance to vote, go ahead and head over this way. Harmony Porter, reporter for WHUC News 7. Back to you, Devin.
Thank you, Harmony. Finally, we'll go over to the last location that will be covered by WHUC News 7 reporter Tawana Johnson.
Thank you, Devin. I am here in Bolton, Mississippi, in front of the Bolton Volunteer Fire Station, where voters are coming out to cast their votes.
The polls are open for Election Day for District 2. In this election, it goes beyond who will be the next Hinds County Sheriff. It's important to understand what you are voting about in this election. Casting your vote is an opportunity for change in Hinds County. I had a chance to speak with Congressman Benny Thompson, the United States Representative for Mississippi. He explains why it's important to vote for any election.
Well, as you know, in America, we pick our leaders at the ballot box. So at every opportunity, citizens who are registered to vote get an opportunity to express their opinion. They should do it. And you do it by voting.
I had a chance to speak with Reginald Harris before he went to work, and he explained to me why it's so important to vote.
When you look at crimes, we definitely need an overseer of crime who's going to decrease crime. We also need somebody who's a great leader who can take that department of Hinds County and definitely move it to the next level.
There are 13 candidates, all running to be the next Hinds County Sheriff. Tawana Johnson reporting for WHUC News 7.
Thank you, Tawana. As we close out the show, I want to urge everyone to go out and vote to be a part of making your community better. This concludes the 2021 general election covered by the WHUC News 17. Remember to like and share this video on YouTube and Facebook. Also subscribe to continue to see weekly content like this. Please remain healthy and strive to be COVID-free.